Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble this cute worm pattern. So I designed this especially to go with the chirp quilt pattern, but it would also work great with the chickens or with the wildflowers or with a completely made up collection of garden friends. You can use it with a lot of different quilts, and this is a half block pattern, so it does a great job of breaking up just your basic square grid of a regular applique quilt pattern. Here's how to make it. Okay, this is the video showing you how to assemble the worm applique pattern if you are using a light box, which is what I have here. So first let me show you my light box setup. I have a light box at the very bottom of my stack here. I've got it turned on as bright as it'll go. On top of that, I have, this is a totally optional piece, I have a tempered glass cutting board that allows me to fuse my pieces right on the light box without having to move anything over to my ironing board. But you can totally skip that and move this onto your ironing board. I've got my placement guide, and then I have a clear silicone sheet. I've got all of my pieces cut out and ready to go. They are, I print the pieces onto the back of paper-backed fusible adhesive. I use Heat and Bond Light in all of my quilts. Cut each piece out roughly around the solid line, fuse it to the back side of my fabric, and then do a nice clean cut on the solid lines. All of these dotted lines in here, you could ignore. Those are there only for people who are not using a light box, and those are guides for where the applique pieces are going to go. The one thing you do want to transfer are these solid lines. So those are stitching lines rather than placement guides, and you do want those. So in this one, the eyelashes are optional, and I am not going to do the eyelashes on this particular worm. I did do them on another one that you'll see at the end of this video. But I do want to give him this smile. So I'm going to transfer that smile line and just trace it right through the piece before you peel the paper off. All right, now we're ready to put it all together. So I'm going to start with piece number 1 because the numbers tell you what piece is what, and they also tell you in what order to lay them down if you are using a light box. So here is piece number 1, and we're just gonna set him down so that he is lined up there. And then 2 and 3 are the eyes. These are pretty small, but they are still appliqueable. If you don't think that doing applique on such small pieces is fun, don't do it. There is a post, the pattern links to a post that tells you several different ways you can do small eyes without having to applique and outline stitch them if you don't want to. All right, there's his eyes, and now we have, oops, let me shift that back into place. We have all of his spots, and I am going to lift this up so you can see the numbers better. So you can, if you have trouble seeing them through your paper or your fabric, just push it down so that you actually are making contact, and then the lines will shine through much better. So, but we're going to start with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 through to the end of the body. So here we go. All right, so piece 4 is up near his neck. And then piece 5 is a little bit lower. And I did, all of these fabrics are from the Coral Blenders, part of the Seabreeze collection. And so all these corals are all tints and shades of the same hue, which makes them all work together really well. And one thing that I really like to do in something like this is use as many different prints as I can, just to give it that kind of scrappy look. So you'll see that I've used a few different prints that are the same basic color. So if you're interested in using these fabrics, I designed them especially for applique because these are exactly the kind of blenders that I like to use. but I sell these in my Spoonflower shop. And the pattern has links to them. All right, so now all those pieces are in place, and I'm going to fuse them down right on this silicone sheet. You don't have to do the full time of the fuse right here. You really are just kind of tacking the pieces together. And I'm going to let that cool for just a minute. And then I'm going to peel that up. And now it acts like one iron-on. And I'm going to get the block. So this is the block I'm going to fuse them to. It is already quilted to the batting. That's the way I do quilt as you go. But you don't have to do it that way if you don't want to. You can use any applique method you like. All right, that's pretty well centered in there. Now I'm going to do the real fuse, and this one's going to take a little bit longer, so I'm going to fast forward through it. All right, so this guy is ready to go. I'm going to let him cool, and then I'm going to bring him over to my sewing machine, and I'll do all of the outline stitching, and then I'll bring it back here and I'll show you the finished block and also show you the other worm that I made. All right, here is one finished worm. So this is the worm in a horizontal setting, but I also did a second worm that is in a vertical setting. So I can use both of them in a quilt to break up that basic grid. I can add some sideways blocks and some up and down blocks and get a lot of fun variety throughout the pattern that way. So the tall one it has a little hole that he can be coming out of, or you can leave that off and just have him go flush with the bottom of the block. You've got both options there. That's how you make the worm applique pattern. You can get it at shinyhappyworld.com. I'm Wendy, and I will see you next time.